Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. Vader Games in the building. You know what it is? You know what it is. First things first. My peoples come first, and Vader Games is back. Vader Games TV. It's another episode of Why Always Me. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Please let me know in the comments if the levels are right, if the lighting, if the video's good, the camera's good, because it has been a minute. But I got to say this, and you can probably pick it up. Time's passed. A lot of wisdom has been acquired. Wisdom is reflecting into the beard. The platinums are in full force. But I need to say this first and foremost. The reason why I was away, the reason why many of you have been, and thank you so much for the messages and the direct messages, even the emails. Thank you so very much. I've been rehabbing, and long story short, surgery's been fine. Rehab's been good. My mobility is a lot better. I can bend my knee. I can comfortably sit with right now there's absolutely no discomfort. And so to be able to do the show, to be able to manage between work, to be able to also get within the rehab that's needed so that I can have the proper recovery has been the reason why I've been missing. But I'm here and I'm back with the show. I think it's right to be back with the show just before this upcoming match. All right. And if you haven't yet, please hit that like button. If you're new and you're watching this on the replay or on the rerun, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future shows. And just know that I'm going to be doing my best to do 2 shows a week. 2 shows a week. The first show will always be Why Always Me. All right. Why Always Me is kind of like how all this started. It's me just having a journal and speaking to you and being able to interact in the comments, which I always appreciate. And I'm gonna shout out the first in the comments as well. But it's also my second show. I love this show. I love this show because it allows me to do more of a collaboration, to get other city fans in the mix. And also the reason why I love this show so much is because it comes from a fight back standpoint. It comes from we're not going to let others, rivals, have the narrative on us, right? So CIA intelligent agendas is what we pop off on with Sunday's show. And I want that to be consistent. 9 p.m. UK time on Sundays. But first things first, my peoples come first. And my peoples, I'm going to shout you out into the comments right now. The very first comment in the show, DC, thank you so very much. Vader's back. Happy days. DC, I've been able to feature on a few shows here and there. But to be able to be back and to do my show consistently, which I want to do, is going to be huge. I want to be able to, maybe it might be Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Those might be the days for Why Always Me, and Sundays for sure. We're going to be doing CIA. Dre P in the building. Good to see Vader back. It's been up and down season already. City is already in transition, and Liverpool are dangerous on the break. Ederson and the defenders will have to be switched on. Dre P, we're going to get into it. And as you can see right here on the side, right here, we're going to go. These are the topics we're going to go through. Dre, you know the deal. DC knows the deal as well. But we're going to go through those comments and tackle all that. I agree with you. As successful as we were last season, listen, I'm still happy with the trouble, right? Maybe the reason why I suffered this injury is because I was celebrating too much. But that's for another time. This trouble, it can make it seem like we're not in a transition. It can make us kind of forget that we've lost a hero of the club, a leader of the club in Gundogan, right? It can have us forget that we're playing this season without key players early, as well as players missing in KDB, Stones. But we're revamping because of the Mahrez that have left, because season before with the Sterlings and the Jesus, success is there, but we are in transition. Liverpool, we're going to get into it. Liverpool's, they've got some weapons that we need to be aware of, and we're going to get into that. Yo, love the name I wish I could properly say your name as well, but I'm going to say Sayro. Sayroix? Sayroix? Let me know phonetically how I should pronounce that. But thanks for the comment. Thanks for the love on the channel, and appreciate it. Let's get into it. And we got to do things. We got to do things properly. It's been a minute. I am working behind the scenes for an update because I want to clean this up a little bit. But let me show you a little bit of my city. Let me show you a little bit of Toronto. And if you ever get a chance to come out here, whether you're a City fan or not, listen, beautiful city. I suggest you come through in the summertime. Beautiful. But check out Toronto. Why always me? Historic landmark street, Young Street. You'll know it when you get here. Everything, that's where everything's at. Young Street, downtown takes you all the way up to uptown, midtown. Now, let's go through these topics. And then again, I sent out the link to, some of the tried and true. It's kind of like a little impromptu show that I have, but I sent the link out and hopefully they can join and we can get into it. Let me deal with the why always me and the back standpoint. It's back and it's going to be interacting at a different level than what I've done in the past. So I'm going to be more present with regards to how I tweet. And I want you guys, if you haven't, please follow me on Twitter so you can know of the updates. I will post every upcoming video, whether it's going to be why always me, whether it's going to be CIA, on Twitter first. So you'll get the updates and you'll get the notifications on YouTube, hopefully, and know when I'm going to be live. But that'll be set first. And also, I'm going to condense it a little bit. I'm going to make it a point. Listen, you're going to tune in. You're going to know Vader's show is going to be an hour. He's going to cover these topics right here, and we're going to get through it. And then we're going to move on to the next, all right? Because I know your time's valuable. I got to manage things within my rehab, so we're going to do that properly. Next, topics. And this is where I messed up. I got to admit, I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to admit. I normally put the topics at the bottom, right, on how I'm going through. So maybe I'll try to do that as we speak, and do that properly. And I also want to be able to do timestamps for you, which I will do as well. All right, well, let's get into it. Most dangerous 11. And I think we need to start here. We need to start with the most dangerous 11 of Liverpool, because that'll set us up to talk about how we handle them, where their threats are, and where they're vulnerable. All right. So I'm going to do this. Boom. All right, let's do this. Most dangerous Liverpool 11. Let me try to see if I can put this on screen as well for you guys. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do this live here. Formation. There we go. Not them. Boom. I got it there on screen. All right, right there on screen. Hopefully that shows up well for you guys. You can definitely, no need to see Allison Becker. He's at the bottom there. No need to see him, but he's in the mix. This, as a City fan looking at Liverpool, knowing what they're hoping to do at the Etihad, I think they set up this way. And one thing I want to talk about, but I need to be careful. It's not because I'm superstitious. But I need to be careful because when you have win streaks like we do, at the Etihad, you don't want to overemphasize it. You don't want to dwell on it. We've all watched our games. We've all heard the commentators talk about nothing has happened since or over the last and what happens, like clockwork, like it's scripted, that breaks. So I'm not going to be talking about our streak, although we do have it. But Liverpool coming through gives me a lot of energy of how I felt as a City fan going to Anfield last year, because Liverpool did not look that good last year. Liverpool looked like they could get got last year. And I remember doing I remember doing a show with Saint LFC Saint. Great guy, by the way. Look him up on YouTube. Subscribe to his channel. But I was coming in with so much mad energy because I wanted a slapping of Liverpool because they did not look like themselves. I thought that we would run through them. I'm not going to make excuses. Pep did like a madness, and we didn't set up the way we typically do. And at the end of the day, we ended up losing 1-0. Cancelo got spun by Salah off a quick transition clear out from Allison, and you know the rest. But this is how I think Liverpool fans are coming to Manchester City, coming to the Etihad. Like City don't look like City. They can get got. We can get City this year. This is the energy that I'm getting from them. And if they do have that energy, if they are going to set up for a win, I think they've got to set up this way. They've got to set up this way. They've got to. And this is my opinion. This is a City fan looking at it. If I see this lineup, this is where I'm like, okay. Let me see how they actually attack us. Let me see how they set up. And I know Liverpool fans are going to be looking at this and like, Peter doesn't know what he's talking about. Where's Darwin Núñez? You know what I mean? Like, what's with this setup here? I have Darwin on the bench for the main reason that I haven't, to this point, I have not seen him show the ability to stay focused for an entire game. I haven't seen him show that he can deal with a game for 80 minutes, right? Or even 90 minutes. I don't think he's at that level. And I also respect his aggressiveness and his speed. And I think it would be most effective. From when I've seen him come on as a sub, he's been most effective that way. And he would have me worry if I saw him on the bench coming on as a sub, no matter when Klopp would decide to bring him on. I think being able to be on the sideline, see where City might be vulnerable, Klopp making adjustments, that would be my key in terms of let me watch out for Darwin Núñez. All right, like if I'm being honest with you, this isn't no sub disses or anything like that. I think Darwin as a sub would be dangerous for us, especially for some tired legs that we might have. And I'll go through the City 11. Let me go to the comments. Dre P goes, may not be able to watch the stream as I would like. Hey, Dre P, you watch now, you watch later. It's all good. Appreciate you being here, man. So I'm going to send this question to you. All right, I got you. What do you think about these charges and investigations into our club? Is there a witch hunt? Now, you know what? I'll address that real quick for you. The investigation is justly so. I do, in the same breath, think it is a witch hunt. I think the league is trying to make a point of setting a standard, setting a benchmark, you know, showing that they have teeth, right? And I think it's all for show. And because of that, I'm not overly worried about the alleged charges. I'm really not, because I don't think us as a club would be making moves the way we are. Okay, there's a saying, you know, follow the money. Scared money doesn't make money. All right, I'm using a lot of cliches, but the fact that City continue to invest, the fact that City is still looking down the future in terms of expanding the stadium, adding the hotel, adding elements to what I'm going to call the campus, you know, Manchester City grounds. The fact that that continues means that they're very confident in the information that they have to present forward to defend themselves and to point out that what's been alleged, all these 115 charges, they're misplaced. I think they're mislabeled in the sense that you're going off of hunches and you're not going off of fact. You're going off of speculation. You're going off of guesses. So that, JP, is absolutely a witch hunt. And when there's a witch hunt, you prove your innocence. So they have to present the facts, then we present our facts, and we move from there. Is there a political and financial game being played off the field, and who and what wants to win? You know what, Dre, you're hitting me with some really good questions, and I don't want to steer the show too far the other way, but there's definitely political moves happening, financial moves constantly. That always happens behind the scenes. Always. It's never just simple. It's never just sports. Sport is a business now, right? Like this league is, yes, it's designed for sport, for competition, but there's also the financial element to it. There's also the business aspect, and the entertainment and the business need to match up. I think the political moves and financial moves are intertwined, and what the league will not do, at the end of the day, what the league will not do is they're not going to cut off a limb. They're not going to cut off a limb that has been so important and that leads to their growth of their financial gains. So how that's done in a way where it doesn't, piss off fans is going to be the clever part. But what's happening behind the scenes, I said it early on. I think it was a shakedown. I think it was just a shakedown. Um, see how City was going to play, and City said, "We're not playing this game. Not playing this game. You're not going to tarnish our name publicly like this. You're not going to try to make us an example and have everything be copacetic. No. We're going to switch this up. All you Reds, whether you're Arsenal, Liverpool, United, no. You're not going to move like this against us. Let's fix this. Let's be inclusive. All right. And let's move from there." But let me get back to this 11. This is where I think Liverpool are at its most dangerous. All right. This is where I think Liverpool are at its most dangerous. And the reason why I have Jota up there playing that, playing the 9 or playing in the center of the pitch is because I think his work rate and what I saw in his work rate when he was at Anfield last year was incredible. Was absolutely incredible. 1 second. Was absolutely incredible. I thought what he did in terms of running into space, making life a little difficult between, keeper to defense transition was a problem. And I think he does that better than Nunes. I also think because he would start to do that, and at the start of the game, I think that's why I think it makes sense for Nunes to come on, because he would be fresh legs and he would be a dangerous threat with that pace. But Jota, Luis Diaz, and Salah up front, problems. Salah's, again, I don't need to speak about Salah. We know Salah's a problem. He always seems to score against us and have some type of moment. So I've already put that aside. Diaz, Jota, them putting in their work rate, I think they're going to carry the majority of the slack in terms of making our transition a little more difficult. And then that midfield, I'll be honest with you, City fan, I don't watch Liverpool like that, like I used to. But Gravenberch, McAllister, yes, he's in that 6, but Szoboszlai, this dynamic, this midfield, we're going to learn a lot from them. We're going to learn a lot from them in terms of seeing how they play, seeing how Klopp decides to utilize them. I rate Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, McAllister. I think they're still gaining their ways with Liverpool, but this is where I think they're most dangerous. Endo, I don't think he fits this well, but we'll leave it at that. Defensively now. Defensively is what I want to point out. And again, I listen. I listen. I talk to Liverpool fans. I talk to other rivals to kind of say, when you think of Liverpool, who are you worried about? How would you think they would set up to make your life most difficult? So when I ask those questions, Joe Gomez on that left-hand side. And versatility, I rate that. Play on the left and right. him over there instead of Semicas. Okay, makes sense. Obviously, Robertson's not available. Him and Van Dyke. We know what Van Dyke is. Ratings. Kanate. Hearing that he was healthy, I was like, yeah, damn. Would have preferred him not to be available. Not gonna lie. But Kanate back there with Van Dyke, I think defensively is a lot better than Matip. Although Matip with the ball, maybe carrying the ball a little bit, allowing Van Dyke just to be that, that final backline dictator and illustrating where players need to be and all that kind of stuff. I think Matip serves that a little bit better, but Kanate is obviously very good. And I think Kanate is better to also be alert for what Trent may or may not be ready for defensively. And then obviously we got Trent, we got Allison Becker. Allison, second best keeper in the league. But when we got Trent, and I know a lot have been wondering, should Trent actually start at right back? Should he be in the midfield? I'm going to say this. Trent adds a different wrinkle at right back and his ability to move into the midfield. I think you want to make whoever would be on that side of the pitch from an attacking standpoint, have them guessing, have them having to float and follow him. I think that would be the better move than to put Trent inverted already or have him in the midfield. If Klopp decide to do that, I'm laughing. I'm like, cool. I don't think you get the best out of Trent when you do that. Or I don't think you get the best out of your 11 when you move Trent into that position. But if we're going to be looking at the most dangerous 11 from Liverpool, this is it right here in my opinion. If I see this tomorrow, and the game plays at 7:30 for me tomorrow morning, if I see this 11 tomorrow, I got concerns. Only that I know it's going to be a tough match. But like obviously, I respect them. I got concerns. I still have confidence in my team, and I'm gonna talk about my team right now. But I got concerns. So let me do this real quick. Let me do this proper. Vader game. Now, most dangerous City 11. The most dangerous City 11 is right there on the screen, in my opinion. But let me say this. I wouldn't be upset if Pep had a couple differences with regards to this. Sorry about that. But this is the most dangerous City 11 in my opinion. But I'm not upset. I will not be upset if Pep decides to do a couple things. All right, I'm no Pep. I know that. All right, but if Pep decides to go, you know what, Vader, see what you did with that 11, and I like what you did with that 11, but I'm gonna put Grealish out there on that wing. And I'm gonna have Doku as that weapon that in case of emergency, actually not even in case of emergency, when the time is right, I'm gonna unleash this weapon. I'm gonna unleash this onto Liverpool, because I think regardless whether it's Doku starting or Grealish starting, I think both players will get onto the pitch. They'll get onto the pitch whether we're winning, whether it's a draw, or if we happen to be behind. But both players are getting on that pitch, because I think from a let me see how you answer this question I'm posing to you, Klopp and Liverpool. Pep's going to do that. Pep's going to do that with Doku, and maybe it's going to be 70 minutes. 75th minute, he's going to sub on and he's going to bring in Grealish, or vice versa. I think Pep does that. Me, I got Doku out there because I think from the jump, I think Doku, with more time at the team, he knows what's going to be expected of him. He's going to know how, not only will he have to have that same urgency and quickness and directness on attack, he's going to know to recognize and to be able to come back, because he will have to play in a certain pockets because of where Trent's going to be on that pitch, and also with the fact that Salah is going to be on that side. And possibly Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai might be on that side as well. So we need to keep in mind that right-hand side for Liverpool, our left-hand side, Doku's going to need to come back there. And I think Grealish is already prepared to do that. He already knows to do it. He's done that before. And I think Doku's going to be at that level to be able to do it. But that's going to be the task. And I like the question. I like the question that Doku's going to pose of Trent. Because when Trent does, scamper up, looking to get into the mix offensively, I'd like to see Doku hugging that touchline, widening that pitch, and making life difficult. Let me go back to this. Let me show you, making life difficult for Trent and Konate on that side. The directness of Doku, I think, is going to be key here. And I like how Doku's been head on a swivel. He's looking up, whether it's to get that ball to Haaland. We saw how Doku got that pass out to Bernardo Silva when Bernardo did his Messi impersonation and almost mirrored it. But I like that link up, and I want to see that. I think we get a little splash, a little added spice with Doku out there. So that's what I want to see. Now in the midfield, again, Pep might be like, Vader, that 11 that you put together, it's nice. But I'm actually thinking I'm gonna take Alvarez. And I'm actually going to put Alvarez on that bench. I know, crazy. I might put Alvarez out on that bench and have Kovacic. He may do that. Pep may do that. If he does, I'm not upset. If Pep decides to do that, I'm not upset, because from a midfield control standpoint, I can see that. Pep might also go so far as to say, Vader, that 11 that you put together, it's nice. Trust me. I think we get the win from here, but I got a couple tweaks. I think maybe we get away with having Walker on that bench. I know it's crazy. I wouldn't advise it, but Pep. Pep might be like, Vader, your 11's nice, but I'm gonna put Walker on that bench. I'm going to have Rico Lewis, because I need Rico to kind of move into that inverted role. Imagine Rodri, Rico in that midfield working together, and then we got Kovacic and Silva for that stability, advancing the ball, and really pinning Liverpool down. That might be an option. That might be a possibility. I'm seeing all of that. So this is when rivals, and when we talk amongst ourselves, like, what's Pep going to do? What's the 11? We have no idea. So I believe Kovacic is healthy. I think Walker's good to go. Rico's good to go. Ederson is the keeper I got in net, and I do think that Ederson's going to show the difference between him and Alisson Becker in this game. Watch how Ederson's going to nullify some of that pressing that Liverpool will try and do. Watch how Ederson is going to just dismiss some of the marking that they're going to do as well, because they're going to have to account for Ederson ball to foot. You don't want him to have all day to be able to wait for movement to happen up front between Doku, Holland. If Alvarez does start some of the runs that Alvarez may make, Foden coming back. Listen, Ederson's going to show his difference against Alisson Becker in this upcoming game. That's my most dangerous 11 for Liverpool. That's my most dangerous 11 for City. So let me put that back on screen for the two of you. For the two teams. Dangerous 11 for Liverpool. Okay. Dangerous 11 for City. Pep may choose to do something different. Klopp may choose to do something different. But if I'm thinking this is where I'm going to hurt you guys, this is how I set that up. Now, next, let me try and do this clean as well. Vader game. We got to talk about the midfield battle. We know that these games are won in the midfield. That's nothing new. We know that these games are won in the midfield. And we're playing this game without no KDB, man. We know KDB loves to play against Liverpool. We know KDB loves these big games. He loves them, and we're not going to have him. So with him missing, we got to figure out who is going to be that creator. Who's going to be looking to spring Holland, to spring Foden. And many want to reflect, and I agree. You're only as good as your last game. Go back and see what was done in the last game. I know there's an international break, but we got to go back and see what was done in that last game. In the last game versus Chelsea, I wasn't upset with what we were doing in attack. I was not upset with what we were doing while in possession. I think we definitely left a couple goals on that pitch as well. I think I'll be able to actually show the Doku example. But we left a few goals between Holland on that pitch. But I had no problems with what we were doing offensively. Defensively, I think we made things a lot more difficult than they need to be. I think we showed a lot of disrespect of Chelsea. We didn't fear their transition. We didn't fear how clinical they would be, and it kind of bit us. But I think we have the midfield. We have the midfield advantage here. Does Klopp do this 3? I don't know, but whether he does or doesn't, with Rodri, Silva, if it's going to be Alvarez, if it's going to be Kovacic, if Pep decides to move Akanji into that, inverted role, well, it's not quite inverted, but if he has Akanji kind of move a little further up that pitch into that midfield, keep Walker out wide, and we have a back three of Walker, Diaz, and Gvardiol, I think we're good midfield wise versus Liverpool. I think we really are, and I think that battle's won by us. Because I don't trust them defensively. That's where it's at. I don't trust Liverpool with this midfield. As dangerous as they are in attack, as dangerous as they are with the ball at their feet, it's where they're going to be in those spaces defensively, right? And I don't want it to be a trap meet. I don't want it to be up and down. I don't. I think Liverpool are going to make it a point to even try to bypass the midfield. They're going to try to get some of those passes, those balls over top. Whether it's going to be Alisson, whether it's going to be Trent. We know it's going to be Trent. Right? Van Dijk's, he's got a few of those passes in him as well. I think they're going to look to bypass the midfield. I think we win that battle. I think we win that midfield battle, so I have confidence there. And what I want to show is that I think the level of concentration, I think the level of let's not make a mistake, let's stay sound. I think we do that better than Liverpool. I think we are going to have to make every man, all 11 men right here, have to make sure that they're sound, that they're in the right spaces, because of how we're going to have possession at the Etihad against them, right? So we're going to have the suffocating attack. We're going to have the suffocating attack. We're going to be methodical. We're not going to rush things. We're going to be kind of like a boa constrictor. You know what I mean? We're going to move and we're going to compress. We're going to suffocate. We're going to contract on them. We're going to make it difficult getting into that final third. that 18-yard box, all they're going to have to be on and be defensively sound, because that's what our level of attack is going to be. I think their level of attack is going to be, whether it's Allison making a save or whether it's them maybe winning possession, they're going to be first and foremost, looking for Trent, get the ball to Trent. Trent will be that outlet. And then Trent, because no disrespect, ball to foot, one of the best passers in the game, bro. And especially from a right back standpoint, that's a huge advantage, because you're asking an attacker to have to play defensive and to be in spaces and to kind of cover angles to make life difficult for Trent. I think that's a tough ask of anyone, but Trent is going to be that outlet. Trent's going to be trying to get those balls over the top. Obviously, he's going to try to get some to Salah, and I already hate seeing the ones that he might put into space in that in between space that might be one for Jota or Diaz to run on. But Trent's going to be that guy in attack. We're going to try to suffocate them in attack. I think they're going to try to just quickly strike at us. All right, we're the boa constrictor. They're going to be the striking cobra. All right, they're just gonna strike. Now, and I'm gonna get to the comments. I see you. This is where I think midfield, we win it. Transition quickly, make it a track meet. I think that's what Liverpool's going to want to do. And between Van Dijk and Trent, I give it Alisson Becker. Not necessarily ball to foot, but his drop kick. He's kind of burned us before with it. I think that's what they're going to look to do, get over the top, especially later in the game when Darwin Núñez joins. I'm going to make it a point to get my man Pitch Points Gundelorian in the mix real quick. But first and foremost, let me get to these comments before I do that. So I see we got Coach's Corner in the building. Yo, good looking out. Thanks for being a part of the show. He goes, Gravenberch won't play, I think. Gravenberch doesn't play because of he's not the right profile player. Klopp doesn't have the trust in him. Is it a health standpoint? Just because? Let me know exactly. And we got Eddie's Football Waffle in the building. Shout out, go and subscribe to that channel. Subscribe to Coach's Corner as well. Eddie goes, big up Vader. What the what the F are the Prem putting this box office game at 12:30 and Brentford versus Asna at 5:30 p.m. Surely 5:30 is better for main events. Eddie, you're absolutely right. But I think, actually, I don't know why. It'd be interesting to understand why the Prem did this. But what I do like, despite it being a 7:30 a.m. game for me, right? Time zone differences out here in Toronto. Despite it being 7:30 for me, what I do like is I wake up, got my son and my daughter to be able to watch the game over breakfast, and we're able to watch the game. And Eddie, when you got that 7:30 win, and you get to then kick up your feet, relax, talk trash, revel in the victory, it's nice. Let me bring up this one more comment. Eddie goes, I'm hitting the like. Hopefully your team and Liverpool give us entertainment like the previous 2-2 results from 2 seasons ago. Eddie, stop that. I don't want that out there. Stop it. That's at the Etihad. I want to win. We will entertain. Liverpool's going to show up and play. I don't think Klopp's going to do what he did last year at Anfield when he actually conceded possession and conceded how high up the pitch he was defending. I don't think we see that, but we move. Let me introduce my man Gundelorian, Pitch Points, in the building. And as he speaks to you guys, I gotta adjust the lighting. It's now getting bright out here in Toronto. Gundelorian, how you doing, man? Good to have you on the show. It's been a minute. I hope you've been good.
Well, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, man.
Yeah, been good. Been busy. So yesterday was Thanksgiving, so we've been trying to get it back up to speed.
Yeah, you had some good food.
Yeah. Usual stuff.
Nice.
Turkey, lamb. Some Nigerian jollof rice.
Of course.
Yeah.
Nice, man. Nice. Well, I don't know if you could see it on screen here.
I can see it.
Okay. And I'll have your two cents with regards to Liverpool and a possible 11. Whether you agree with this, where you think there might be changes, and then I'm also going to put on the City 11 as well as you speak, and I'll continue to listen. But I'm just going to adjust the lighting real quick.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
all right.
Yeah, the Liverpool 11, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty straightforward. What they have Salah there, I can see it clearly.
Salah, Jota that's like center forward,
Salah, Jota,
and Luis Diaz.
Alistair, Szoboszlai. It's a usual. I mean, listen, we're at home, man. That's all I care about. We're our record at home is pretty good against any team.
Oh, you're being modest. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's quite good against any team. So I'm not worried about this game. Just get the 3 points and we can put up our feet and watch the rest of the clowns fight for the rest of the spots.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Yep.
Okay.
I hear you.
So I'm just gonna put on City's 11, and let me know what you think here.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I'll just be a second. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's see. We have Doku, Haaland, Foden, Bernardo, Rodri. Is that Alvarez?
That's Alvarez, yeah.
Josko, Diaz, Akanji, and Kyle Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, the only person I would maybe take out would be Akanji.
You take out Akanji?
I would. Yeah.
And who instead?
I mean, I would play Ake and Josko.
Okay.
Yeah. I would play Josko center back, Ake left back, and then have Diaz there, and also Akanji is great, but he has these moments where he just loses concentration, and against the Liverpool team, you can't lose concentration, right?
Right.
That's both Walker and Akanji sometimes lose concentration, both of them.
So Gavardiol would move where Diaz is. Basically, Gavardiol and Diaz kind of shift.
Yeah, I would put Guardiola left center back, Diaz right center back, next to Walker, and then play Ake at the left back.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the question now becomes, who plays that double six, right? That's the question, right? Who gives us that?
Yes.
Well, let Guardiola step in. He can do it.
Oh, we have. Okay, let me see. Let me listen. You know the bat signal. When the bat signal goes out, that's to get Batman ready to know that the commissioner needs his attention. I put the message out in the group chat, and like the bat signal, I got Gundalorian pitch points. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, do it right now. Don't miss out on that. I also got other heroes. I got True City fan Patrick. Subscribe to his channel. Don't miss out. Subscribe to that. And I've got Klilnical, the Jamaican Blue, my guy, also joining. Subscribe to his channel as well. So let me get those two excellent Blues in the mix. True City fan, what it do? Thanks for having. Thanks that I'm able to have you on the show. And Klilnical, my guy. Wagwan, everybody.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm all right. You can. It's been a minute. So trying to get back into the groove of things. I love the conversation. To come back before a Liverpool game. Listen, it's just the right to do. How you been? I hope you're safe. I hope the family's well. And I've been seeing your content, man. You still, I like Let Me Cook. I like that new segment you got.
No, it's so good, man. It's just yourself. Everybody has been busy with a lot of family stuff or a lot of personal stuff. That's why people haven't been doing content. But it's good sometimes to be back for a while and just try to do a few things, But I appreciate this. Oh, I see you guys have done the lineup. I also did a similar lineup in a show I did with a few people. It looks like that's the only lineup we have. To be honest with you, going forward, I'd love to see more of. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I would like to see going forward, as good as Alvarez is, I would like to start seeing more of Nunes, in that midfield. I just have this feeling that if Nunes clicks with this team where there's Rodri, Nunes, and Bernardo Silva, they would cook very well. I just feel if that happens. But obviously, in the meantime, in Guardiola's team, there's a line, there's a queue, who was first gets an opportunity, and who has impressed him, and who was there before you, who's learned before you, gets the opportunity. Same thing as the fact that it's Akanji who drops into that midfield instead of Josko, who I think is better at playing the ball than Akanji. But it is what it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Peter wants to remind us, he goes, crowd control, Liverpool like to smash team buses. You're right about that. But they better be on their best behavior. They're coming to the Etihad, and we're going to show them Etihad hospitality like we've shown 21 other teams. Klilnical, how you been, man? You been good?
Yeah, no, of course. Big up to you guys. I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving, if that's your thing, of course. And yeah, it's definitely good to have you back. Love these conversations, and definitely a big game tomorrow. Massive game to look forward to. So
Huge game. Nah, I mean, Gunno brought in a wrinkle, man, because he's like, you could see a Kanji. You'd rather have a Kanji kind of drop. We bring Diaz and Gavardiol, and then we've talked about this a while. I think it's brave of Pep, and I think it would show a lot of Gavardiol as well to now play in the what we call the Stones role, but on that left hand side. I think it's something that no one's really anticipated. Like, I don't think that's something that Klopp would anticipate either. So to see it, I'd actually like it, because I think stability wise, it then prevents Walker from maybe being isolated. You know what I mean? Because it's the controls on the other side of the pitch. But let me ask you guys this.
The issue with Walker, right, is if you notice the way we play this season, is that Walker gets isolated because Walker plays this right wing back, wing, false right wing thing, right? Which means that he has to always have the energy to go back and forward. I don't like Pep doing that, frankly. I think Walker should do that. I think Walker's greatest asset to us is not his passing range.
Defending.
It's his defending. It's his recovery runs, right? That's what he needs. That's what he needs to stay.
Yeah.
He needs to be the last man who's there to stay, because he can catch anybody. Don't play him as this right wing back that has to go back and forth, and then when he's out of position, he's tracking back because he's 10 yards behind. Right? Keep him back there to stay. Like against last year in the Champions League, in the semifinals, or keep him back there to defend. That's what we need to. If we do that, we're good.
Yeah.
Because he'll always be there to recover. Let Josko go and do his magic with the ball in the midfield.
That is true, what he's saying. And I think sometimes these are the downfalls you see with Pep. Like the same thing I keep repeating. As good as Alvarez is, and I love Alvarez in the number 10, and he's very good, sometimes Pep has to realize that I'm being overflooded. I'm talking about like the Chelsea game. I just feel like, I don't know, maybe is it just me who thinks this Nunes guy will cook? And some people are saying it's a mistake buying him.
The problem with Nunes, Patrick, is Nunes has a terrible first touch. Terrible. It's awful. He needs to improve his first touch. That's his problem. So if you don't have good first touch and you can't control the ball properly, you can't run. You lose the ball in transition.
Yeah. Do you think in time, if he improves that, I'm right that he would cook in that midfield?
Oh, absolutely, no doubt, 100% correct. I 100% agree with you.
I agree as well.
It just 100% agree. But then if Bernardo plays central, which I think hopefully he does, then you have that control with Rodri. Right, so in our build-up, you can build up with a 4 and a 2, the 2 being Bernardo and Rodri in the middle, and Alvarez can go behind Haaland, and you have Doku and Foden wide. But the key is, what does Josh go? Does he play? Akanji can't play that central midfield. That he can't do it. I'm sorry,
he keeps putting him there, and he says because Akanji has been there longer. I get it, but Akanji is not it. Like, he's not it at all. I'm sorry. Like, Akanji is a utility man. That's what we call him. And to be honest with you, it's quite funny to see. I don't know if Klilnical, you can also agree with this, and Gundo. It's quite funny to see that Akanji actually cooks better away from being a centre back. He actually plays way better when he's told to cover the wings, and he's playing as a winger, and he's playing as a fullback.
Right.
Naturally, as a centre back, he would do well, but he's prone to a mistake. But if you find him that he's playing just as a fullback, he seems to play way better. Because even somebody was making a combined X for Liverpool and City. He said at this point in time, with how Robertson things are not working out, and this is somebody who doesn't like Man City, he said Akanji would be his left back, and people say laughing, and then he explained to them, he's like, have you watched him as a left back? Zero. Nobody dominates him. Nobody gets over him. When he's a left back, he takes things very seriously. But he said when he's at the center of the defense, he seems to lack concentration. But that's all I think anyway.
Yeah.
Well, to Patrick's point, Victor, I think Patrick has a good point here, because when you're playing left back or right back, the touchline becomes your point of reference.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a closed space, because someone's always going to be behind. So it's easier for you, if you have speed and you're athletic, to be able to defend one-on-one. Is that right?
Yeah.
But when you're central, right, in the central defense, you have to have that 360 vision, and it becomes confusing, because where is the ball? Who has the ball? Do I run? Do I stay? It's much more confusing. Stones and Diaz do it really well. Stones can play midfield. Diaz, right. So for me, I think Patrick is right. I think in that left back area, Akanji is the one. He's the one. Or right back, he's the one.
Yeah. Now, Daniel agrees. He says Nunez needs time, and I agree. I think, his first touch needs to improve, and I think it's also just knowing spacing on where he wants to attack, what lines he wants to kind of go after. But I think he would definitely cook in that midfield, and then we're going to have a proper show, like all four of us, and we'll extend the invite. But we're gonna have a proper show when Nunez is cooking. Who is being dropped, right? When we have someone like Nunez cooking, and we got a man like KDB back, who's getting dropped? And I think it's going to be a great combo. It's nothing to bash players. It's nothing to be anything, but it's going to be
that's an easy combo, man. That's very easy now.
Easy combo.
Very easy combo.
Hold on. Let me set it up. Hold on, Gundo. Let me set this up. We're going to have a healthy KDB. We're gonna have a healthy. We already have.
That's easy now, okay, Veta. It's easy now.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
If KDB is healthy, it's KDB, Bernardo, and Rodri. That's it. That's it, man.
So but to the point when Nunez is cooking, like we're talking about.
Leave Nunez in there. Come on, we're talking about De Bruyne.
Okay.
Just the name alone, De Bruyne, scares teams.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. Patrick, I'm gonna throw this to you. Patrick, now. We've got Rodri, Silva, and KDB back healthy. Now we now have Alvarez, Doku, Holland, Foden, Grealish. We got 5. We're gonna have to talk about who's dropped. That's
easy. It's easy.
Isn't Alvarez getting dropped?
I'm cutting off Gundo because Gundo's messing up future shows, saying that it's easy. It's not easy. Don't do that. Patrick, speak on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if De Bruyne comes in, Alvarez right away becomes the backup striker again, isn't it? But you're right. The thing is, I don't know. I have at the end of the day, I just have like this feeling that when this guy is done, I mean, like done with Nunes, like he's done with him. I think Nunes will come in handy at the second half of the season, because I just feel like the Nunes I have seen, it's just unfortunately at City, sometimes you really have to channel yourself. It's the energy he has in that midfield, which I still think to the date of the day when I'm talking to people. I was just saying in that Chelsea game, Chelsea had a midfield full of runners.
Yeah. And
I think sometimes if you see in that game, Rodri was getting dominated, and I get Alvarez is a star. And Alvarez is my boy. But I just feel like if we had runners again, because bringing in Kovacic was good because he was there to settle things down, but you needed runners. And guess what? I just have a dream. I just want to see. I'm as crazy as
dream, Patrick. Go ahead, dream.
I just have a dream where I want to see Bernardo Silva before he leaves City, which I have a feeling he might leave City one of these time periods because he wants to go to Benfica, as Carl has been preaching to us for a long time. I just have a dream that I want to see Nunes and Bernardo Silva play in that midfield and see how things can go. Because with those two in midfield, and if they're in sync and what's his name is finally cooking, I think that midfield would actually be great. And it's just a dream. But obviously, when KDB comes in, unfortunately, with the team we have, I haven't seen anybody cook as good as KDB. Yeah. And I said to somebody that KDB is not even close to anybody in this midfield. At the point where, if you look at the all-time midfield for the Premier League, they have started including him. I don't know if you've seen that. He's been
yeah.
included now,
They have to.
first choice. And now I'm happy that he's getting his flowers where people used to not give him his flowers. Now he's getting his flowers. Even Walker, Cow and Klilnical. Walker now has been put in the Premier League all time. Pundits are not listening anymore. Nobody's putting Gary Neville or any of these useless people. It's done now. It's Walker. They say it's Walker, and finally Walker has been recognized. So, look, it's my dream midfield. KDB, obviously, when it comes back, you play. But I just want, even one day, Pep should just go crazy in one of these cup games and just put Bernardo Silva, Nunes, KDB, and put Rodri on the bench. I just want to see this chaos. I just want to see this madness and see where it goes. You know what I mean? That's just a dream. But to be honest with you, this Liverpool game, we better be upward because these guys, as long they don't have a DM, that their defense is easy to get at.
No, we'll get to Liverpool.
Okay.
Because let me talk to Klilnical real quick because Gundo telling me fully healthy. It's easy what the 11 is going to be.
It's very easy now.
No, honestly,
stop it, Gundo. Stop it.
Honestly, you might not like this, Vader, but I do think he has a point. If you look at that midfield he's talking about, that is probably going to be our best midfield. Any combination you want to put, if all of them are fit, if we're being honest. But if we're talking about getting a very high performing Nunes into the team, I don't think it's too far a reach to say we could have. I know it's probably not the same, Patrick, like you were thinking, but we could have Bernardo Silva, say right wing, and have Nunes right center mid, and have them link up in that way, while still having KDB and Rodri in the midfield area next to him. So I think that could still be a functional midfield that we work with.
You're playing the game. This is what I like. But now I'm okay with the midfield adjustments. But then when we move the combo, when we talk about future shows, and Gundo poo-pooing on my ideas right now, when we move it along, now we got the forward.
Gundo is pooing on your content. I can see that.
I'm sorry. I mean, the reason why this is because, I mean, from a coaching perspective, you asked me that question. Oh, it's a simple answer. It's a simple answer for me. Oh, my 11 is easy, right? The only one that I would question is left side. Who plays, Jack or Doku? One of them, right?
But what I want to build off, what I want to build
11 would be clear. Erling,
but what Klilnical just said. What Klilnical just said. If we've got Nunes cooking, right, and Pep, Pep chooses to go.
Yeah, but Rodri, hear me out, Victor, right?
Okay.
If you have Nunes cooking and you have De Bruyne cooking, there's no comparison, brother.
So let's keep them both in the midfield with Rodri.
No. If you have Bernardo, Rodri, and De Bruyne cooking, Nunes doesn't smell that midfield.
But what about what Klilnical just said? We put Bernardo on the right wing.
You don't need, if everybody's cooking, Nunes doesn't replace anybody in that team. Everybody's cooking.
Okay.
He doesn't.
Okay. All right.
I mean, does he
replace?
I
hope one day we come back to this, and Nunes is actually the one. Anyway,
no, but hear me out, Patrick. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. What I'm saying is that if everybody's on form, right, doesn't replace Foden in the wide area, can't replace Jack or Doku. It's not going to replace Erling Haaland. It can't replace Rodri, nor Bernardo or De Bruyne. Where's he going to play? Right back? Can't replace Walker, Stones, Diaz, Ake, Guardiola.
I'm with you.
This is the level we're talking about, right? This guy starts for almost every single team in the Premier League, almost every, right?
You know what, Patrick, Klilnical, you know what this is telling me? I'm going to have to send Gundo the invite 10 minutes a little late to the stream so that we can talk. We can talk about.
No, ask him this though. Let me ask Gundo a question. Carl.
Yeah.
Let's look towards the future, and let's just look at what do you think Nunes was bought for? What is his role? Like, first of all, it's not for Gundogan place because that was Kovacic, and I'm pretty sure they're going to look for another midfield because Kovacic looks like Chelsea fans are right. He's made out of plastic, but Nunes, what you as a manager, what is Nunes there for? What is he there for? And obviously we couldn't get Paqueta, but looks like they're still interested in Paqueta. So what's the way forward? Let's say Paqueta. Do you know what the funny thing is, Veta? I preached about Paqueta and people were dunking on me. Now everybody's doing videos like, oh my God.
I mean, the reality is, Patrick, to your point, Paqueta is actually better than Nunes. Let's be clear. He's better.
Yeah.
Right? We can see it, right? He's better. Then the role of Nunes, he's a ball carrier. He carries the ball. He has energy in the midfield. That's great. But if you think
think he can never play hold in midfield?
He can.
No. No.
Because he
think he
has the
can.
body
Not
for
holding.
it.
I don't think
Holding?
so.
No, not holding.
I think he can if he figures out his first touch, because he
Really?
has the energy.
Okay.
He has the
Yeah.
energy to get around the field. The issue is that his first touch is not as good as a Rodri. You know, I mean, Calvin Phillips can't even get a start for crying out loud. You know, that's his problem. Is his first touch is not as good as a Rodri or a Fernandinho back in the day. He can't play that role right now. But if he fixes that, he can do it.
All right. Let me transition. We're gonna talk about this in future shows for sure. And like I said, I'm gonna send Gundo the invite 10 minutes late so that we can cook a little bit about the possibilities, and then he can come in and talk after. But
Sorry, bro.
it's all good. It's all good.
Vader game.
Now I put the Liverpool 11 back on the screen, and the reason why I did that is I want to talk about vulnerabilities in defense. I want to talk about where we would look to maybe attack them most consistently, right? Would it be, as you see this 11 right now, would you say we would look to maybe attack Trent's side, which would happen to be our left-hand side? So whether it's Grealish, whether it's Doku, whether it's Bernardo Silva, maybe playing on that side with an Ake as Gundo kind of suggested, or
Yeah.
If Gundo, you want to go first? What side?
Yeah,
of the
I want to share something with you guys here on the show, and also the guys who are watching. So you know that I'm part of the USA Academy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there are three things they taught us about how we coach kids about the club's philosophy. There are three things they try to do. The first thing is that in terms of getting the goal is, can you play through? Primary, they want to play through.
Okay.
So that's why you have that De Bruyne type, the Nunez type. Can we play through the heart of the midfield?
Okay.
If we can't play through the heart of the midfield, can we play around? Think about the low blocks that we play against, right? They always go wide, left to right, left to right, left to right. If we can't go left to right, can we play over? And that's the order of precedence. So if you ask me that question, they're going to try to break through the middle of Liverpool in that midfield where they're not as strong, in my opinion, with Szoboszlai and McAllister. They're good, but they're not City level, right?
Yeah, and they're not. McAllister has been made to play the number 6 as a holding, but he's not a holding.
Right. So if they can't get through that for whatever reason, maybe Trent goes into them 4v4. They'll try and play around. If they can't play around, they'll try and play over. That's what they're going to try and do.
Okay.
And this comes again from the club philosophy on how to play. There's what they call 6 philosophy or 6 phases, and then of the game, and then also the 3 main things: play through, can't play through; play wide, can't play wide; play over.
Okay.
That's why against Arsenal, when they couldn't play through, they couldn't play wide. What did they do? Play over. Bruyne, Haaland, through, go twice.
Okay.
So look out for these little things that you see in the game. It's, these guys, man, are good. I'm telling you, these guys are good, man. Their coaching is top class. But
And
look out for that.
And I'll remind you, please, and their channel descriptions are in the bio of this channel, and especially this video. So go to Pitch Points, click on that, sub, follow, make sure you got the notifications, because that level of detail, this insight, you're not privy to it anywhere else. So make sure you subscribe to that, and you also be able to check out True City Fan and Klinical's channel as well. 2 excellent channels.
I have a question though. So Carl, do you think, because what's his name, Trent has been playing in midfield, right? This season a lot. Do you think they're gonna still play him in midfield, make him tuck in into midfield?
He can't do it against City away at the Etihad. He's not gonna try that. He's not gonna do that. That'll be suicide. Because what will happen, right? If he tucks Trent in the midfield, what is City going to do? Just play over. Remember, I talked about 3 things. Can I play through? No, I can't play through. Let's play wide. If you play wide as a whole, because Trent has left his spot in the wide area, and guess who's there? Jeremy Doku. right.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be suicide if he tries it. Just play through, play wide, and play over. That's what they would do.
Yeah, so that's a good point, Patrick. There is a huge vulnerability for Liverpool if Trent inverts, especially whether it's Jack or Doku on that left-hand side.
Yeah, last season Jack cooked him, didn't it?
Yeah. So that's gonna be key. Now, where are we vulnerable?
I think for us the key thing we have to watch against Liverpool is the central areas of the centre backs. That's where we need to watch. That's always a danger zone for us. That central area between Rodri, Diaz, Akanji, or Vardy in the middle. That's where we need to watch. That's a hot zone, right? That's where we need to be really careful and make sure that we're disciplined. Even against Chelsea, a lot of the problems we had came from that central area. Diaz and all these guys, Joshko, in that central area, in that 18-yard box kind of area, 6-yard box kind of area, or the hot zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the wide areas, not so much, because they're going to fling balls from left to right, come to that central area. That's where we need to be really focused.
You know
which
what?
I don't want to Kanji in that place, because I think he makes a mistake too much.
You know what I don't. You know what I don't want, Clinical. What I don't want is, sometimes those balls over top and our defenders, like, we kind of little too nonchalant head it back into play, and we're not our midfields aren't the first onto the ball.
Yeah,
that's what I'm a little concerned of with what I think Liverpool will try to do often, and I want us to be just very clean with those headers. What do you think of that?
yeah. I mean, I definitely do see that point as well, because we do know, you mentioned it earlier, Allison and Trent are usually the ones that are playing those long passes, and they do like to try to bypass a midfield in those situations. I don't think we're a team that's easy to break down anyway, so it makes sense that they try to get in behind our high line, and that way get players like Salah on the ball in those advanced positions, get Diaz in those 1v1 situations where he can beat his man and then create a dangerous chance immediately. But we spoke about this lineup a bit earlier, and aside from the fact of me personally not hearing any news in regards to Ederson being back fit, I'm looking at how we were talking about the back line. Ake might come in. I think he was out with an injury as well, and he didn't play for Netherlands over the break. So I'm not sure. Sorry?
Yeah, I'm saying, I'm agreeing with you that he didn't.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's gonna be fit enough to feature in this game. But as much as all four of us might have our individual preferences in terms of how we would set up the back line, and Patrick, I'm sure you'll remember I made this point on one of your shows recently, but Pep is going to play Akanji. Like I think we know that now. As much as we would maybe prefer a different back line with him not playing that type of role, at least
he loves
I think in terms of that Stones role, Pep looks at Akanji as the one that he wants to perform that role next in line if Stones is not available. And we might not all like it, but that's what he's gonna do. I do think that's what he's gonna do, and I think he prefers Vardial out on that wide side and actually helping with what he's giving us offensively, because I didn't expect to see that from him that quick. But I think where we're vulnerable is either that space that Vardial is going to leave when he's going forward and assisting, whether it's Doku or Grealish up on that side, or Akanji trying to step into the midfield and potentially losing the ball, or something of the sort, the space that he leaves between Diaz and Walker maybe, and then combat that with how Liverpool try to attack us. That might be where they try to get some joy.
Yeah. No, I'm in agreement with that one. And then this point I want to shout out from Dre P goes, we also have to pray Nunez does his customary missed goals thing. He will run in behind our high line. Tactical fouling is key. Now, I said I feel more threatened with Nunez coming on as a sub versus being a starter, because I think we're going to be up for those balls over top early and make life difficult for Nunez. And I don't think Nunez has the mentality to kind of like be disciplined and be home. We've seen he's a hothead. So would you guys rather him, or do you guys disagree with that? Would you think he would start? You think Klopp starts him because he would be more threatening as a behind ball over top attacking type player from the jump, or do you kind of agree it'd be more dangerous seeing him as a sub?
No, he's dangerous regardless. Let's be honest. And I told people that, look, he might be a bum when he comes to finishing, which I think is going to improve. I still rate him as a player. He's just dangerous because regardless how bad he is, he will still make those runs and stretch the back line. You know what I mean? He will still cause issues by running in behind. Yes, he'll miss 1v1s, but on his day also he will score. So the thing about Nunes is he can play football. So he's difficult, to be honest. And to be honest with you, I'd rather not see him in this game because he is the one who's going to be making space for people like Salah. And Salah, if there's somebody like Nunes making space for him, that's what he likes. And you know Salah loves the goal against Man City. But look, I don't know. This game, as I told most people, is it's not going to be won. It's going to be won for the team that defends very well, because so far both teams, their defending hasn't been great. But also Liverpool have been depending on the front forward to bail them out. They're back to those settings where the front three is the one that's dangerous, or the forwards are like Jota and them, man, are the ones that are actually helping them out at the moment. To be honest with you, as I said, a lot of them are saying McAllister is good, but he's not good for that number 6. They will need a proper number 6 very soon. He's supposed to play further front, and Sabitzer is just a box to box, but he's not very defensive. Yes, he's tall, powerful, and fast, but he's not a DM, So I just feel like City are the team that, as Klilnical said, give less chances. Here, if you look at the two teams, it's actually City that can actually defend better than this Liverpool team. So it's up to us and who shows up. Because for Chelsea, we were just sleeping. From the first of the whistle, there was just mistakes, and the team seems like they were sleeping. So hopefully that has changed for this game, and hopefully Haaland has got his shooting boots, and hopefully Doku is ready to cook Trent. To be honest, it doesn't matter even if it's Jack, because I know Jack will also cook Trent, because Trent doesn't take much to be cooked. I'm telling you, Trent can be cooked by any winger out there in the world.
This is why True City fan Patrick is one of the greatest out there, because he brought up Chelsea. He brought up Chelsea and how, shooting boots, and we're not going to play that same way. But I like to say you're only as good as your last match. And I don't know if it's Klilnical or if it's Patrick, but one of them are getting in their FIFA reps or their FC24 reps right now. I can hear it. And we're going to battle. Trust me, we're going to battle. I know someone's getting in their reps right now, so make sure you get your sharp. But what I want to put on screen is I think it's a good example. It's a good example of what happened in the Chelsea match that I think we're going to be able to have joy against Liverpool. All right, so I'm gonna play this real quick. YouTube, do not copy strike me. This is strictly for breakdown, analysis, learning purposes. But I'm gonna put this up on screen. I just want you guys to see the more familiarity we're getting amongst each other and how we're able to blend. This is why I think this 11 might be so dangerous. I'm gonna play it out real quick. So we kind of go in transition. The ball gets to Haaland. And this is so underrated. They don't want to talk about it. They want to say he's a tap-in merchant, that all he does is tap-ins. But his build-up play, his dropping back, look where he is on that pitch. Look how he gets the ball. And look how he's able to spray this pass and weigh it out for Doku on the wing. And this is why I think Doku's going to be dangerous. This is where...
That's a serious ball.
That's a crazy ball, right, Gundo? And I think that space is going to be available with the Trent playing defensively and a Doku on that touchline, or even Jack. Like, listen, Jack isn't as lightning quick as Doku, but we've seen Jack race and chase down Salah, who is lightning quick as well. So Jack's got that pace in him. It's just a matter of when he gets the ball, is he still going to be running down on the defender? But Doku in this space, this joy that we got against Chelsea, I think we can get that against Liverpool.
Yeah, but that might be the other reason why I think people, as much as we want Doku, you might find Jack is playing, because I think Pep, there's a fear. Like, let's not only Pep, a lot of managers fear Salah, and maybe at the end you might find Doku comes in later, or maybe Doku might play the right hand side. You never know. But I just have a feeling that as much as we want Doku to cook Trent, which everybody love, you might find it's Grealish to help out Vardy when Salah is causing trouble.
I agree.
Fair. But I'm gonna play this out and let's watch this. Let's watch this opportunity here. So Doku, man, I love his directness. I can't lie, I love his directness. Now he puts it on his right hand foot. He's take a shot. I'm not mad at that. I want my winger to do that, right? I want my forward players to do that. Where I think the familiarity and just being more accustomed to how his teammates are making runs, Doku knows, I know I got a killer that's coming into space as well. And you can see Haaland right there into that space. Could that pass have been lay off? Who knows? And I think that's also Foden. Maybe it's Alvarez. I'm not too sure. But someone is also running into that box. You kind of see them on the edge right there. But this, and obviously the shot goes, it gets saved. But this is the example I want to leave with you, those of you in the chat, on what we can see against Liverpool in terms of, yes, they all want to tell us they're going to try to catch us on the counter. Best believe we'll have those opportunities as well against them. And I wanted to point that out. Now, If you haven't, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. Also, take the time. You can do it. Pitch Points, True City Fan, Clinical. Go to their channels, sub to them as well. I told you I want to do this, get back to the mix of things. There's a couple more things I want to add as a flow. Everyone in the comments, from Dre P to Peter to Eddie, thanks for coming through. DC early, Daniel. I'm missing one. The Girl RK, Coach's Corner. Love as always, and Sorarex. I think I'm butchering your name. My apologies. But everyone within the comments, I want to thank you. I want to thank my fellas for jumping on the show. If you guys have anything up and coming to let the people know, I will be there. We got to talk about previews. We got to talk about results. But I will be there. I'll throw this to you, Patrick. Anything you wanna talk about? I think Patrick's playing his FIFA right now.
I don't know. We'll see how the day goes, because there's a lot of shows today that I've been invited to. So I have to see how things go. You know, like, as much as you want to be on all these shows, sometimes, you know, with family, you can't really show up on all these shows. But I had a preview penciled in.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it goes. If the preview doesn't work out due to a lot of things, we just do the lineup show before the game.
Okay.
Just do a show before the game, react to the lineup, and see how things go. But at the meantime, the preview show is still booked in.
Right.
I don't know about Klilnical. I think Klilnical is also saying he's going to do a show today, so I don't know what time his show is. But that's me for the day, to be honest. Guys, continue supporting Better Games. Support the guy. He does very good content. Support him. Support Pitch Points, who's very addicted to Champions League. And support Klilnical, who analyzes the game while he plays FIFA, and he's going to get these hands one of these days. But anyway, that's for the day.
Clinical, anything you want to shout out?
You know, big up as usual. Like I said, always great to have these conversations with you guys as Blues treble winners. Don't forget that. But yeah, I do have a show coming up later today, 6 p.m. UK time. We'll have a rival fan from Liverpool, 12 man, I believe, on the channel later.
Okay.
And I did send out a few other invites as well. So maybe a small panel building up there, but 6 p.m. UK time, we'll be there with the Liverpool preview, and you know, have to back the Blues.
Yeah. All right. I will make sure I will be into that show 100%. 6 p.m. UK time. Everyone in the chat, please show love. I think Pitch Point's Gun Lauren is probably in a meeting right now. Love as always for being in the mix. Vader Games TV episode 89. And listen, Vader Games TV, Why Always Me is back. We're back from international break. We're going to show Liverpool why it's the Etihad and why we've got this home winning streak, and go from there. Hope you enjoyed it. Please share the love. Let people know where to find us all. And I hope you enjoyed the content. I'm Better Games. Love as always. We're out. Respect to all. Peace.